1, 2, 3, go. This is Tina Bailey. How are you today? Tina Bailey. Hey, hey, hey. Okay. Working on some crochet squares, reading and watching. What are you up to? So I'm on going on my, I just completed my second row of a kaleidoscope square. Um, Getting into the chat here. Read a few books today. Attempted to do my wrap up of this month's reads that I completed. I completed 9 books that I can recall. I'm like, what? Yeah, so I think I've completed 9 books. Everything that I've doc says 9 books, I think. I only counted one thing. So I'm like, okay, so 9, okay. So I guess yeah. I thought I read 11 books this month. That's why I'm bringing that up because I'm like 9. And then I'm like I about barely can't remember like what all I finished. I'm only like referring back to like what I shared. So I really thought I reached 11 completed books. Oh, well. Let me get to the. I was going for 11. I was pushing it. I mean, I wasn't like I did lax. I did like I did like give myself a break like yesterday, the day before, and maybe the day before that. Um Testing. I was going for okay. 11. I was pushing it. I mean, I wasn't like I did lax. I did like I did like give myself a break. Yeah, I did. I did slack off for the past few days. So I really wasn't pushing it that much because I thought I had already reached reading 11 books. That's why I slacked off. That's why I slowed up. I thought I had read 11 books. So I was like, okay, I got 11 books under me. Okay. So, but then when I went to do my wrap up selfie, I only saw 9. So I was like, what? So I'm like, nah, okay, no, maybe I'll look more into it, or maybe I just did 9. I don't know. I'll have to look more into it. Maybe I only did 9. I really thought I reached 11 because I was attempting to meet the goal that I had in, I think it was April. I read 11 books, maybe. Anyways, I would like to have more fun with my reading because my reading kind of has gotten a bit serious, has a bit of a serious tone with the books that I'm reading, um, and have lined up for the next reads. So I'm like, whoa, my reading has gotten a bit serious as far as the lineup for the next read. So I'm like looking for some fun reads in between my serious books. Um, Also, I've had a question, and before I um, got into some reading communities, and I don't, it didn't get answered, but it did. I answered it myself, um, and I am resurfacing the question now that I'm in some reading communities, and I and reading show and movie adaptations. So this show to book to show adaptation. I don't know if it's an adaptation. So that's kind of like the question as well. So there's an author, and I think it's a rock star. Okay. R.L. Stein, who has written series of books, and there's also a series show and movies and things. So I rewatch his shows. I read one of his books in particular. I thought I and I liked it. Okay, I liked it. It was my favorite. Uh, and watching the shows, I did my best to I wanted to point out the show of the book that I read, but I didn't see it. So I'm like, so are not the shows the uh book adaptations? It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like I'm like, so are not the shows the book adaptations? It doesn't seem like testing. It doesn't seem like testing. 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 Okay. So yeah, it doesn't seem like, at least the book that I read, it doesn't seem like there was a show made for it. I mean, I had got so happy when I saw like something about like the werewolf swamp thingy, swamp something or other. I was like, okay, so this the werewolf, so this is the book that I read. And then when I watched it, I was like, that wasn't nothing like the book that I read. So I'm like, oh, so there's not a show of the book that I read. So I was thinking about it today, and I was like, so like with these other books that I've read, and then the movies that I've watched, like the movie and the books have been different. So looks like that's the same thing with R.L. Stein's books, it seems. So those books would be maybe interesting to revisit. Um, I think I do have one on my wish list. I don't know exactly the name of it at the moment because I put it on my wish list a few months ago. A few months ago. Um, so yeah, it's one of his Goosebumps books, I think. that. Well, okay, so it's one of his Goosebumps books that I read and enjoyed. The one that I put on my wish list is possibly a Goosebumps series book as well. Um, I've also put some more things on my on my wish list. So it's like my TBR is like growing back up from when I started my book challenge. For every one book I read, like 5 to 10 books go onto my t- t- to my TBR. So this is fun. Having books to read. I went from no book recommendations to quite a few book recommendations. Um, another book series, another author I'm looking into going back and reading is Janet um E in it starts with the E and I think it ends with the C or an H. Ivankovich, I think it's something like that. Um, she has a lot of books, and she has a Stephanie series, and I was thinking of reading. I think either the. I think I was thinking of reading the Stephanie series. Um, the one that has the numbers. The numbers. She has like, well, I guess they're all numbered. Yeah, they are. She has a series. I don't know if the Stephanie series are numbered. I know the Stephanie series has like something about plums, and I know that there's like one for the money, two for the something, three for the something, and then there's I think Hot Six, and then there's Seven Up, and then there's I don't know what eight is. Nine is to the nines or something like that. I'm thinking about reading, giving those that series a try. Um, so I put a book on my wish list for that. Um, those are not the serious books that I'm reading. Those are the I don't know fun books. I don't know exactly how Janet books are. Like I don't know how fun they are because I haven't finished reading a book from her yet. I think I started it. I did have a friend that was into that series and read a lot of those series and was telling me about them and that I should read them. So yeah, thinking of giving those a try. Um, Dark Matter. I'll be reading. I have on my wish list. Um, Another book I've started reading already. Dark Matter I haven't started reading, but I just put it on my wish list not too long ago. So I'll be reading it soon, perhaps. Soon if I don't spread it out to get some fun hee hee ha ha books in between some books that I'm reading right now. Trying to find some. I'm like, oh wait, okay, like these are some serious reasons, almost like textbooks a little bit, like. And I do have some mythology books that I have on my um wish list, and I just put another mythology book on my wish list. Um, After watching Mr. Midnight again, I was looking for a Black Lightning book, but the one I the one that came up wasn't the one I was looking for. But in the search, there was a mythology book about North America, and I thought the place where the setting of Mr. Midnight was the same as in this book, the mythology book. So I thought I'd give that a read. So that went on to my wish list. Oh, also bookstore. The bookstore has been updated. Uh, where I added the books I've completed so that you can partake of them as well. So they are in the bookstore now. Okay, I'm trying to see what color I'm gonna go with. Um, Switching it up a little bit. Um, so yeah, the bookshop is updated. Also, the book club is updated. The coffee shops are updated a wee bit. A wee bit. I would like to add some more to the coffee shop. However, the coffee is hot. It's hot over there, so coffee shops are updated. Um, there'll be more added. But yeah, I just updated them today, so it's fresh. The bookshop fresh, coffee shop fresh. Um, Attempting to crochet on this kaleidoscope throw. Um, yeah, and attempting to take it easy. I've surpassed my goal, my reading goal for this year. I was thinking about making a new goal for this year. However, I don't know. I don't know if that'll be too pressure or what, but I am ready to uh set a new goal. Um yeah, I am. I liked how it looked with the gold mint and then book the book spew over. I'm like 3 books away from 60. Um, going by the data that I've shared. Um, so yeah, I don't know if my next goal should be 60 or 100. And then I don't know when the goal is up. Like, is the year goal up after midnight, December 31st? Or is it going to give me till spring? It may be up midnight, December 31st. Um, so I don't know. Maybe I'll just wait to set a goal for next year, a new reading goal for next year, at the top of the year. And I don't know what that goal is going to look like. Um, because I haven't given it much thought. I'm only focused on this year and enjoying all the resources and the clubs, getting acclimated to the book clubs, as a place of um, self expression. So that's what I've been doing this month, is getting acclimated to the book clubs, participating in the book clubs, and getting acclimated to the coffee shop, because I integrated the renewing of the coffee shop. The coffee shop's been there. I just integrated it into the fold of things that I'm presenting. So I'll be doing more of that, building that, developing that. Um, so that entails like new things that I'm kind of tiptoeing around. I'm kind of tiptoeing around because I don't know, like, it just, like, I'm going back and forth. I'm like the neighbor from I Am Legend, just going back and forth, walking back and forth, and then I'll get closer and closer to it, get up on it, look, peek, peek at it, and then I'll conquer that and present that in the bookstore as well, or the coffee shops as well. I've actually shared things in the coffee shop. I my goal is to share more of what I've shared. So that's what that is. And I need to look, because I'm actually, the reason why I'm tiptoeing to it, walking to it, looking at it, seeing how I'm gonna devour this cake. Um, is because I'm presenting it in a different way. This is actually, I've shared this. Okay, so I've shared a vocabulary list and a quiz in the coffee shops for the book, um, the best the next best fling. And how I shared it, I just I just shared it. This time I'm creating a downloadable file. That's what I'm working on. I'm working on creating a downloadable file to share even more of so that the quiz and the vocabulary list can be downloaded. That's what I'm going for this time. Okay, so the first time I just shared it, it's there, and with your computer or your phone, you can do the things, the operations to print the um, the list and quizzes for the list and quiz that I've shared already. The next quiz and list I'll be sharing is for Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter and the Half Blood Prince. I'll be sharing that via downloadable file. And I thought of doing that like 2 weeks ago. And it's because I'm creating a downloadable file that I'm like, uh, stop. Wait a minute. But I would like to so that it could be downloadable. And you already can download it and print it or write on it, however you do like that. So it's just another a way of sharing. That's all. It's just different. If I had shared it like I shared before, it'd already be done. So yeah, I'm just learning a different way to present in different ways. Um, so yeah, I would have went on ahead and shared it, but I learned that downloadables can be shared, and I think I've already shared downloadables via the coffee shop. Like, um, what do you call those things? Images, coloring sheets. I think the coloring sheets that I've shared are downloadable. I think. And I know I do have some books on there. So yeah, but this is different. This is a different method that I'm doing. Um, that I'm approaching. It's a different method that I'm approaching. So that's what that is. That I learned about. I learned that I could utilize this different method. So I'm like, okay, 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 okay. Cool. This is what I'm looking for. Yes, yes. Seek no more. um, so that's what I'm up to, along with my reads and watching. Um, what is it called? Goosebumps. Rewatching Goosebumps. And reading all my other books. And crocheting. This is my first uh Granny Square project. I have crocheted some granny squares. No, this is, well, okay. So this isn't my first granny square project. It's not. Um um this is the most squares I've crocheted in for one project. I I think that's fair to say. So far I have 9 squares. I'm crocheting on number 10 right now. Um yeah, number 10. Number 10. I'm liking this kaleidoscope pattern. One, because I like kaleidoscopes. Two, because the squares are pretty big. They're estimated at 10.5 inches, maybe. Yeah. So they're pretty big. Um, so I don't know. I was thinking like maybe I need to start sewing them together. Maybe my just is like keeping all of the squares together. I'm like, I don't want to be crocheting those squares and then have to keep them all together. And then where do I keep them all together? Like, so these squares are pretty big. Now I do have a stack of them, and they are stacked. And I'm like, can I stack 30 of these? Like, this is just 9 right here. 30, 9, so 10, and then 11, then 12. I mean, what I said, 10, 20, 30. That's going to be a big stack. So I don't know if I'll be able to stack them like that. If I want to start sewing them together so it'll be less to stack. Hmm. Hmm. I'm thinking. I'm thinking because that'll be they'll all be sewed together like I could do like a row. I know this one lady when she sewed granny squares. I don't know exactly how she sewed them. I would have loved to learn from her. Like she sewed them like in a row. I'm like, I just looking at her like, how are you doing that? So yeah, but the way this throw is made, it's um I don't know if it's a so is a join as you go. Like it doesn't look like a join as you go type of connection. I don't know. I haven't joined much. I haven't done that type of connections creation, so to speak, I guess. Um, so I don't know if I have to sew all the squares together first. I mean, make the squares and yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I have to make the squares first and then be able to sew them together. So I'm just working on that, working on making the squares for now. What I'm doing is making sure I have the same number of color edges. So I'm like, I kind of veered off of the pattern. The pattern called for white edging, and I didn't do that. I went with gold edging and well, it looked kind of gold. It's like a yellow, yellow, goldish yellow edging and a gray edging. So some of my squares have gray edging, some of my squares have gold edging. So what I'm doing now, I got like 5 gold edges and I'm working on the, let's see, I think one, two. Okay, so I have 4 gray edges, 4 squares with gray edges. So I'm working on a square so that I can add gray edging to it so that I can have an even number of squares with the same color edging. So I think that's what I'm gonna keep doing. Um, as long as I have these 2 colors, the gold and the gray, because I started with the Ogo jewel yarn, and sometimes the squares ended with a yellow, like gold yellow. So I didn't want to use the gold edging for those squares. So that's why I used the gray for those squares that ended in yellow. So if a square ended in yellow, I didn't edge it in yellow, I edged it in gray. Now I'm not even using the gold yellow. I'm not using the gold yellow because I would like to use that for a different project. Because I've had to gather some other yarns because I ran out of the jewel Ogo. So I've had to gather some yarns. I've tried them out. Some of them I would like to continue using, some of them I don't. Um, so yeah, so these squares that I've created after uh, running out of the Ogo jewel has been like, let me see how these colors mix, kind of try to match the yarn that I ran out of, and now kind of veering off on my own patterns, see what I like together, type of thing. That's how that's going. As far as color changes, still using the colors within the jewel color, just using them in different patterns. Um, so yeah, if a square ended in a light color yarn, I use the gray. And if a square ended in a dark color yarn, I use the yellow to edge it. And I just created a square that has a more dark color edge to it, and I edged it with gray, and it looks so good. It looks so good. It look good. So I'm gonna do that again with a different color though. So all my squares are like similar but not the same. Um, for now, my squares are similar but not the same for now. Um, I may repeat some squares that I like. So if I like, so this round is really just creating things I like. The first few squares were mimicking the pattern of the jewel yarn. Now these set of squares are finding what colors I like together, seeing what I think looks good together, trying colors together, um, just really being creative. And then, um, the possibilities. And if I one, two, three, um, come into like creating all the possibilities of the color patterns, I will lean towards the ones that I like and create more of what I like. Six. So that's where we're going. I did attempt to make some leg warmers the other day. I saw a couple of patterns of leg warmers that I attempted at. Um, I even put my own spin on it. My own. I added um, a primrose stitch. Um, and then with the pattern, I couldn't do the pattern because I did the primrose stitch. So I had to alter the pattern. So I'm like, oh wow, am I coming up with my own leg warmer pattern? Like what? So yeah, I don't. I gotta keep going and see where that's gonna go. I'm on the second row with that one.